Okay, everybody ready? We'll call the meeting to order. Good, please. First order of business would be the minutes. Minutes from the June 9 meeting, mailed to the magistrates, I do believe.
Motion to approve is presented.
Motion to approve by Sam Hutchins. Is there a second? Second by Jerry Hahn. Any further discussion? All approved, say aye.
Aye.
Disapprove? Motion will carry. Next would be your bills list, additional bills list, and end of the year transfers. Look at Ron over laughing. Used to be able to do this.
It's like turning in your final exam, last paper in college.
It's just balancing up departments. There's no fiscal impact by doing what she's doing. Then you have your bills and additional bills.
So we had a couple record runs, Judge?
Yes.
Not wrecks, just one?
No, they were correct, yeah. One being town back up.
Okay.
But
You got the cheapest records. You done good.
Oh, yeah, we did those. Yeah, new $500 an hour.
You guys have any questions on the bills?
That's terrible. My comment.
Motion been made by Jerry Hines, or second.
Okay.
Very nice discussion. All approved, say aye.
Aye.
Disapprove? Motion carried. Rarity. The first item on the agenda, the deed of easement for the city of Barstown, we'll pass on that because the city has taken care of and found an alternate route. We've been notified yesterday of that.
Can we clap?
Move on to the Northeast Nelson Fire District report.
applaud their ingenuity.
Yes. Tell them thanks a lot.
They're going directional boards, what they're going to do, like what I talked about.
God, it's a no-brainer to me.
They didn't think about it until they got pushed.
Northeast Nelson Fire District report. We have today with us Chief Shields from Northeast Nelson Fire District. And I put a copy of Chief in their mailbox of the tax rate being proposed and the revenue you're going to generate under the new law. Each district is supposed to just report it. No approval necessary, just report.
Do they have any questions?
No, just for the public's sake, Bloomfield Taxing District said 7 cents per 100. Maximum by state law is 10 cents per 100.
Yes, sir.
And you guys have kept that 7 cents pretty consistent. Now,
For several years, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been at 7 for quite a while.
And at 142,000, you have your equipment. You make payments on your equipment that you've had
Yes, sir.
over the years, and of course you got operational costs that would be commended for your dedication and service
Thank you.
to the Chaplain, Bloomfield, and the Fairfield areas. Got stationed a few years ago up in Chaplain. That seems to be doing well.
Yes, sir.
And maybe one day the Fairfield vision will come true too.
We're working on that, yes, sir.
Be
Do the
glad.
magistrates have any questions?
I want to thank you.
Okay. Thank
Are you able to, I suppose, stay afloat?
Yes, sir, we're in some pretty strong financial shape. We managed to pay down our debt services. That is down now to, I believe, about $30,000, which is actually on an apparatus we purchased a few years ago. This year's budget also included an earmark for replacement engine. We're still a couple years away from doing that, but we hope to have about $50,000 to $60,000 in escrow to put down on that apparatus here in a few years.
Okay. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you for your service.
Next order of business would be second reading of the Health Department ordinance for tattoo parlors requiring the training for blood-borne pathogen training. I said out here, man. Been motion to approve on second reading. Motion been made by Jerry Hahn, second by Keith Metcalf. All approved, say aye.
Aye.
Disapprove? Motion will carry. Next would be board appointments. First, the Design Review Board. And we've had an opening on that board for several months and found somebody that seemed interested in participating. Richard Nest.
Do we want to do them all?
I'll go through them all. That'd be a good idea. Then on the Nelson County Property Tax Appeals Board, David Avis has stepped to the plate. David owns rental property, is familiar and meets the guidelines set forth by the state. Then for the Northeast Nelson Fire District Board, Terry Scroggum is currently serving. His appointment is due and wishes to continue to serve. So I would ask the fiscal.
How long is these appointments?
Every one of them a little different by the bylaws and classifications. That
Like Cherry's
The
for
fire district term, I believe, is 3 years.
3 years?
Yeah. I'm almost positive.
You noticed on the order, I always put about the bylaws or government regulations in place.
Right,
for that, because every one of them are a little bit different.
I'll make a motion to approve these 3 nominations.
Thank you, Sam. Second by Jeff Lear. All approved, say aye. Disapprove? Motion will carry. Next would be second reading of the budget amendment that we had from last. We had to restart that, rekindle that fire. If you'll remember the round of letters he sent to you. Last
meeting.
You're thinking, yeah. You're thinking.
Yeah, I got it.
Sam, I'll give you a copy of that too.
Yeah, I've got it.
Need a motion to approve on second reading and adoption.
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Bernard Ice, second by Jeff Lear. All approved, say aye. Disapprove? Motion will carry. Next would be the annual salary review. You guys, the Personnel Committee met this morning, reviewed various departments, recommended generally an 0.8% increase with less than 1% increase this year. That's the CPI. Within each of those departments, we did select a couple of merit salary increases. You guys have those in front of you today. Entertain a motion to approve the pay rate order as presented.
I'll make that motion.
So, well, thank you, Sam. Second by Bernard Ice. Any further discussion? All approved, say aye. Disapprove? Motion will carry. You guys were on the committee and you didn't.
I sat there in committee, wondering what's going on.
Next
Kind of
was,
sad we're gonna lose half of that, or 0.5% to insurance.
oh,
No, to a occupation tax.
you would bring that up.
Yes, I will.
Next would be a tax moratorium request. This request was Scarlett Hibbs. The property being requested is 106 East Broadway, prior office of Reynolds Law Office. She has bought that property and is adding some rooms to the property, and we'll be moving in there.
She gonna run her business out of it?
I don't know that part of it. I didn't ask her that part of it. But she is anticipating spending $120,000 on the property.
And then that long since that place was in real bad shape.
Yeah, Bruce did some work on it when he bought it. Yeah.
It hadn't started yet.
Has not started yet.
Good deal.
Motion to approve.
I'll make the motion to.
Thank you, Jeff. Second?
I'll second.
Second by Sam Hutchins. All approved, say aye. Disapprove? Motion will carry. Next on the agenda is an authorization to pay any bills that Rhonda and I get between now and July 1st. In order to close out the year, you guys will be made aware of that. We do that annually, just in case there's some gas cards that need to be paid that are not on our regular bills list. What else usually comes up, Rhonda?
I'm not expecting anything, but I mean, you never know. So, if there's anything that comes up that needs to be paid in this fiscal year.
I'll make the motion.
Thank you, Bernard. Second by Jeff Lear. All approved, say aye. Disapprove? Motion carries. Don't worry, guys. Yeah, I saw some hesitancy here, but
I think you'll keep us in the loop.
okay. Next order of business will be jail report. Dorcas?
Okay, today we have a total of 128 inmates. We don't have any in Hardin County. We have one on home incarceration. We have 39 state inmates. We have 3 that serving weekends, and these are state that serving weekends. So we have an in-house total of 124. For the month of May, on our controlled intake, we had 711 man days. That's an average of 22 a day. Class D was 358 man days. That's an average of 11 a day. Nelson County inmates, we had 2,523 man days. We averaged 81 a day in Nelson. So we had a total of 3,592 man days. That was a daily average of 115 man days. On the new arrivals for males, we had 154, females was 159, and then females was 54, so it was a total of 213. Releases on males, we had 161, females was 61, so we had a total of 222 releases. And sentenced inmates in district court, we have 8. We don't have any serving weekends for district. We have 15 waiting for court. We have 1 on home incarceration. And controlled intake, we have 22. Class Bs, we have 17. Controlled intake serving weekends, 3. We have 6 state inmates on community service. Work release, we have 4 that are state inmates. Circuit court sentenced to jail, we have 4. We have 3 out of drug court that's sentenced to jail. No home incarcerations for the state. So in circuit court, waiting for court, we have 55. So we have a total of 70 that has not been sentenced.
Any questions for Dorothy? Okay, then, as another item that related to the jail was notice to bid the air handler. You guys have been way aware of that project over the last couple of years. I would ask fiscal court to allow us to advertise, get the specifications back together and advertise the bid.
Is it the one with the damper?
Do what now?
Is it the one with the damper?
Yeah, you know, the project was a 3-phase project. We only built phase 1, which was the big smoky back fan, put it back to, now we're gonna get an a new HVAC unit on the roof with the dampers, with power dampers, plus new smoke detectors. That's phase 2 and 3. We'll package it up, I'll package it up and
The
rebid.
state's asked for, they've been very patient with us and asked for an action plan. I've did everything.
So this is kind of the
my right
second
toe to
phase.
Dorcas that I would do that this
Second and
fiscal
third
year.
phase that will do, you almost have to. The
Yeah.
smoke detector, you've seen what they do,
Right.
big things in the ducts, and they got smaller probes, and that'll help. And then a new unit that is the unit that was specified with the building, the size of it, the CFMs and the BPUs and all that.
The right
stuff.
unit.
Correct unit.
Motion, I'll make the motion to
Advertise.
advertise for bid for the smoke evac system.
Thank you. Sam, is there a second? Second by Jeff. Discussion? All approved, say aye.
Aye.
Disapprove? Motion carries. EMS report?
A couple of items to report to the court. We have advertised for bid for a new Type 1 4x4 ambulance. The bid is to be open on July the 2nd. And the bids also specify that the ambulance is a pre-manufactured before July 1st of 2015. Some things have come up that have gone into effect. I reported to court probably a year ago about new safety standards that were going to affect the production of ambulances. Those safety standards, in fact, go into place July 1st. The most costly safety standard to be added to a new ambulance after July 1st is a cot fastener system. As you guys know, we've gotten a couple of those through grants, $36,000, $37,000 for each one of those. That's added to the cost of a new truck after July 1st, along with some other safety standards. So basically, if we do not find a truck, a demo type truck that's already built to meet our specs before July 1st, it was built before July 1st, I'm going to recommend that we put off the purchase of a new truck till second or third quarter of next year, till some of these safety standards and bugs get worked out and get settled in. There are a few demos out there, and hopefully we'll get some bids in on what's on the market, ready to be delivered. But if not, I'm not sure. Our $140,000 budgeted truck may go up to around $180,000 after July 1st. So we'll see how the bids come in July 2nd and then report to court on the 7th on that. On the emergency management side, this week we're involved in a statewide communications exercise. This is an interoperability exercise that tests radio equipment in each county, our abilities to talk with our surrounding counties and to the state. So every day we have a task that we do. So far yesterday, today, we've met those tasks. Tomorrow, we'll test the dispatch center and their abilities to communicate with other agencies in the in and around the counties that are around us. So that's going very well.
Thank you. Next would be the road department report, Jim.
All right, bush hogging's moving right along. We're into second round. We're actually in District 5, Jerry Hahn's area. Things going okay. We are boom mowing. We're mowing with a small crew, 1 man, 2 men. We're in District 5 there also. We've got some calls on Love Ridge being tough on buses and people coming to us. So we started there, and that's pretty much where we left off countywide or the streetwide. We've finished Brentwood cul-de-sac project, paved it. Mago's, and then we rock shouldered a lot of roads, Allen Lane, Stevens Lane, Culver's Lane. We've chip sealed Timber Creek Loop and McIntyre Lane, and we are prepping what we call prepping Chester Hahn Road for paving. It's an old road that's chip sealed. We're grading it out, cutting ditches in. I'm working on a deed, which I'll be coordinating with you guys to get a turnaround in the back there so we can, when we have to plow, we don't normally plow chip seals because they don't, we plow them, but we don't salt them. But now since this will be paved, we need to get back there with our trucks. So we've got to have a turnaround. Great all crews, routine stuff also. We did stabilize the, the state downrated the bridge on
Hugh Ice Loop.
Hugh Ice Loop to a 3-ton weight limit because it's an old stone abutment that's crumbling off, and we put gabion baskets around it to tighten it up. It won't help the rating, but it should keep it from falling apart further.
Have they done that?
Do what?
Have they done that? When they fixed it?
Yes, it's fixed.
Look good, did a good job.
It's a good looking job, but it's an old stone abutment, built in the 1900s with some of that real old stone. There's some of that old stone in the creek we could probably. Other than that routine stuff, we worked on keeping off Cook roads. We've been all over Blanton Ford Road. You need to look at Blanton Ford Road. They did a real good job over where the river comes up and pulls the bank apart and settles. And we've stabilized it with riprap channel lining also. It looks nice. I should have brought that work order and showed you the pictures. The salt building's going fine. It's all formed up and rebar's in place. He doesn't want to pour it this week because it's 95-degree weather. He'd rather not. If something happens to the plant, these concrete companies will pull off on you if you're not careful. And if they pull off on a 95-degree day, it's hard on the project. So I think he's going to try it next week. But
How many yards? Do you know?
about 100 yards, 10 or 11 truckloads. So he'll pump it in there with the pump truck and everything. But it's worked out real nice.
So what would be pumping in?
Concrete.
I know, but into the walls.
Yeah, the walls are
Okay,
10
the walls
foot
are
high.
formed. I saw
They're
that.
formed up,
Actually,
10 foot high, and you have to pump
But you
it.
gotta keep that concrete together. If you don't, you get a real bad coat joint in. If the truck breaks down, and like I say, the plant could break down, if it breaks down.
Well, they played games on that footer. The footer's not as critical, of course, but they had them all set up and then the truck stopped. So everything sat there for an hour. Doesn't hurt you, but it will hurt the wall a little bit. And if it's 95 degrees, it makes it even worse. So you gotta worry about all that stuff, I guess, so. I'm moving on with the Woodlawn Road Bridge, Sam, as far as.
You asked me about that before court.
Yeah, I'm just getting where I can get to, it's what it boils down to, but I'm gonna meet Billy Gilkey out there tomorrow to move the water line where we're gonna move it, and I'm gonna get, with our contractor, the wall contractor, get out there and we'll see how it goes, so. And Dean, these guys are talking about micro paving. That's what Mago, or not Mago, but that's what the state did on Louisville Road there at 245. It's a seal coat. It's a sandy seal coat.
Is that what they did? I looked at that. I couldn't understand.
That's when they came in and said they're going to micro pave. That's what that is. And it's probably a 1/4 inch thick.
Yeah.
Structurally, the roads. Yeah. Structurally, the road's okay, but it's got a lot of cracks in it.
They filled the cracks over the
They
weekend.
filled it. That's even a step above than what I thought they would do. All that said and done, I mean, these
Crack
guys,
Fill does a good job.
we've got a lot of roads that really don't need an overlay, but they need. And chip seal, what we do works well, but it makes people mad when you chip seal it the way we
A
chip
blacktop
seal.
road, yeah.
Yeah.
One thing I don't like about chip seals, you can't salt you know, those people need to get out too.
No, no, I'm
No, we're
talking about
as a
a,
patch.
Yeah, but still, if you salt over top of that patch, it's gonna eat it off.
no,
Not that.
Well, why don't you salt the chip seal roads
Because
in?
it goes to the.
because you don't got any
Goes to the
subdivision.
dirt. Goes to the dirt.
We salt those. We salt any paved roads. If it's been spot chipped to seal the alligator cracking, it doesn't hurt it. That's not a problem.
But it's just, because if you got a chip seal road, it's only got a couple inches of rock on it, that salt goes right, straight down to your dirt, and then it turns it into mush. I've seen it happen up in Yates County, Neck, and places like that, yeah.
But what I'm
Years
getting,
ago.
what they suggested is if we get a price on what this micro paving
I
costs.
kinda like to look at it, I kinda like.
There are
you know,
some roads that
some
need
roads-
attention but don't need a complete overlay, and it
You
would be a good thing.
go break Mago's hard.
Oh, yeah.
Still spend the same amount on blacktop, I mean, overlays too.
Yeah.
Well, this, yes and no, it comes down to
The key thing I thought was,
You
the
would-
way they did seal the cracks before they did it.
Well, that part of it too, yeah. I
But we had
looked at that.
success in some of these subdivisions doing a
Yeah,
few of those seals.
we did that.
It did good.
That works good, but we had to rent the machine for a week, and you had to make everything, we almost need the machine for 2 months, you know,
Yeah.
is what you need,
Right,
let them
because of
go.
weather and everything.
Well,
else.
you had to just run and get it all, because it was a trial thing, and they ran all over the place trying to get the worst, and they missed some stuff, but, we'll see.
We'll see.
I'll dig into the micro
Have
paving.
they finished it out there?
Yeah.
The only problem with it is you realize that, and you saw it out there, they gotta cure that out. It's not like asphalt. Asphalt, you can get right on top of it. So these county roads, if we micro pave them.
You mean, you have to wait so many hours before you drive on it?
Correct.
So I have to do one lane and one lane.
You know, some of these county roads are just one lane.
Working dry subdivision, you got houses on.
The one you were talking about, plenty wide, would work good, you know. And I don't think it hurt to drive over it. I think it'd probably splatter on the car.
Oh, boy.
Well, where's this
We
been?
haven't had that problem for 15 years. We eliminated it the first 5 years I was judge, but it was a problem when I first started as judge. About the county government should not have a blacktop wand in their hands.
Well, we do. We have to, you know.
But we've made changes in how we do the application that's worked better. Moving on?
Well, I got a question.
Yeah.
Where's this been tried in, Jim? How long has it?
State's you doing it out there on Louisville Road.
I know, but I mean, it's just new.
If you, no, I don't know.
5 years from now, is it gonna fall
That fella,
apart?
the guy with asphalt materials, Crutcher, he's always been pushing that on me. He wanted to sell it's a emulsified asphalt, some sort of emulsified asphalt. Just like our RS2 we get, it's different, but it's same liquid asphalt mixed with a sand. But he was pushing that the last couple of years. That said the state's really doing it now. And he didn't understand. I said, I can't just go micro pave. I don't got the equipment, you know, I don't know, you know.
Well, compared to cost, what's it, half price?
I haven't dug into it.
We'll
I
go
haven't
dig
dug
it.
into it. But now they did a short section out there on 605, didn't they, Sam, Woodlawn Road, wasn't it?
That was
That was-
different.
that's
That
different.
was the
That's a polymer?
polymer that they put in the curves to give you more traction.
Yeah, but that was a micro pave.
But yeah, it's the same
Type of
type, it's just a little better material.
But this has got grit and sand for traction, and it looks like a paving job, but you're talking about some quarter.
I haven't seen the finished product. I saw where this weekend they were filling cracks and things, but I haven't seen that.
They're out there, they were doing it Friday, I had to go through it.
Road crew did an excellent job on Thornberry Ridge. It really looks good.
The Great All Crew's doing some nice work.
Looks good.
Jim, you got any kind of update on the bridge out on Auburn there?
You know, I rode out there,
I rode out there this weekend.
did they have the
They have the
beams?
deck down, but that's about it.
They got the beams down?
They got the concrete on the deck.
Oh, really? So they're that far. I've been out there for a week. That's how fast those guys work, so.
That was Saturday, I believe.
No, when they open it, you know, I guess there's some, see, they got paved approaches, which is just 100 feet, but they got to grade them, and I think Mago's got that contract with, it's a state job, of course, but I think Mago's subcontracted to Hornback on that, so. I don't know, I'd call Mike Rogers up, find out if he's.
I'll get you a report. I'll be curious myself.
I think they're cutting, shutting down 509 to road closure.
Well, you know, if they paved
I'll work
it, it
with
sits
you.
there for 3 days, they can open it up if they will. We would, and then May will come in and pave it later, you know, as long as you get on and off the bridge.
Any other questions, comments? Landfill solid waste report, Brad's not here this morning, he had something he had to take care of. Update you guys on our roll-off truck. The roll-off truck that was broken down. The one truck's been repaired. Still looking for a motor on the other older truck. No, it's actually one of the newer trucks.
Newer
Yeah,
trucks, yeah.
And then we have rented for a month another vehicle to cover us because we have so many factories we service nowadays. We didn't want to take a chance of missing out on opportunity for that, so we rented that truck. I made you guys aware of that individually.
Now, that newer truck, you say it's newer truck, it's a 2007, so
Yeah.
it's.
You know, we had
It's 8 years.
160,000 miles on it.
I know, but it's still 8 years old. When y'all kept saying newer, I thought it was a couple years old.
But that's
I think
not
it's
a
our
lot of
newest
miles,
thing.
really.
It's the
for-
newest
for
truck
that
we've
type
got.
truck. It only got 1,000,000 miles, really.
At least-
I understand a million miles when you're going down the
Yeah.
highway, but these trucks don't do that. They
Stop,
they
start.
stop, start.
The truck
They're
right
all-
there
the
should
motor
get,
up, raise it
everybody's
up.
got an opinion. I'd say in the 250 to 300,000 range.
It's way pretty.
I don't know what our oldest truck is. We got 2 roll-offs that we use.
Yeah.
And then we got 2 junky roll-offs.
I think
that
the
we use
one's
at
got
Lincoln.
300 and some thousand on it. The old reliable.
They were using the Mac.
Yeah.
Had all the traffic.
But just
backed up.
report everything under control and we'll keep you guys
I
abreast.
was out there yesterday and seen the truck.
Brad now.
You do
Brad
have
was
to bid out,
shuffling,
you're
figuring
gonna bid
that
out another truck, I think. That's my point.
What's that, Jim?
I said we need to bid out another truck.
But we're gonna work on
Whether,
that.
I saw your.
Brad gets back, he wants to.
I saw the different options and this, you know, but, I don't know what the second truck, you said it's got 300,000 miles?
The old Luther out there does, yeah.
You got 2 trucks that they have to have for roll-offs because he's got 100 boxes he's serving.
Yeah.
Each one can serve about 50, 60 boxes.
You know, the backup, the fan went through the radiator on it one day.
That's the one you're talking about, so it's hit an age.
It's
where
back
it
on the
needs
road.
replacement.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's back working, but it's needs replaced,
But it could go at any moment.
yeah.
plus an engine.
Yeah.
Okay, next on the agenda is Sheriff's 2014 tax settlement. You guys have a copy of that. This will be just a matter of public record pending the audit. If I could get a motion to approve and put it in the fiscal court order. Motion made by Jeff Lear, second by Bernard Ice. All approved, say aye. Disapprove? Motion carried. A couple weak eyes there. What's wrong with him, Jeff? Next, Homeland Security Grant Resolution. You have a copy of that in your mail. Bill, you want to explain a little bit about that?
Yes, again, this year, we're going to make applications to the Department of Homeland Security, Tech Department of Homeland Security, for 3 separate items. Application number 1 will be for 2 more of the power load systems. We've gotten 2 from the grants in the past 3 years, so we're going to try for 2 and hope for 1 again this year. We're going to make application, working on the application for continuance of mobile and portable next edge digital radios for all departments in the county. We've tried that a couple of years, have been successful in getting some funds for that. And the third one, we have several weather sirens throughout the county that are pretty old. So we're making applications for 2 replacement weather sirens. If we do get some money on that.
Which one's the worst shape, Bill?
Probably the one in the Bloomfield area. They're 1998 models.
They're all
And then
busted.
one. We got 5. We got 11 at one time, and then 5 a few years later. They're a newer model. The ones we're going to attempt to purchase this time are non-mechanical sirens. They look like I guess the best 25-gallon barrel that sits on a pole, but nothing's moving on them. It's just a amplifier and speakers. So it's
Price-wise?
Price-wise, they will come in around $12,000 each. The ones we currently have are around $16,000, $17,000.
Yeah.
So
It's the
without-
mechanical part that breaks, though, right?
Mechanical is what's costing us a lot of money every year to repair. So my feeling is if we get away from non-moving parts, we're going to get a better service out of it. cover the same area.
You guys weren't here when we purchased the burner was. Those were purchased initially, part of the money came from the 5% that we charged to the Marion County Solid Waste, the additional that they paid. That was part of the funds, with some other funds with it. And that was a way to get back to the local Nelson County citizens. And I think it's been well received by the community over the years, and we want to continue to make sure that we keep those operational, and that will require these upgrades that was talked about.
The one at the bottom area, if it needs any work, it needs to be moved up to the firehouse.
We've talked about
We worked
that.
with Salt River, they've agreed to do the work for us. We had a replacement siren for that. That siren that is at the store is really the repair was going to be more than it's worth. So we were able, through Judge and I, with E-Town to get a couple of sirens they were taking.
They had a couple of surplus that they took down and replaced some of the newer models, and we got them for parts and so forth.
Good deal.
That was good work doing that. Guys, just remind everyone, this is a special meeting because we did move the date. The items that are listed on the agenda are the only items to be discussed. Unless you have something else that needs to be discussed that's on the agenda, entertain a motion to adjourn.
So make the motion.
Motion by Burns, second by Jeff. All approved, say aye. Aye. Disapprove? Motion carried. Sorry about that, bud.
Judge, you got something here. Can I just make a statement? It's nothing to do
Court's adjourned, you can talk
with business. I'd just like to take an opportunity to express my appreciation to the support for the working relationships that we've built over the last 4 years. That's evidenced throughout the county and by way of hydrants that have been added, substations built, training centers. That's all been supported by the fiscal court and the people that work for the county. I in no way think that that's coming to an end. I think the corporation will be well represented by their new chief, Mr. J.T. Bass. The training center, things like that, was initially intended to be for all the departments in the county for that use. We continue to work on that. We're working on it this week, and I do not expect that to change for the corporation. I still invite them to use that. And appreciate everything that the court has done to support us getting a training facility for our firefighters. So just want to let you know that I may not attend every fiscal court meeting. I'll still be here, still want to be able to continue these working relationships with you as I'll be working as the chief for the city. But I just wanted to take the opportunity to thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you.